So most of us gamers usually play games at 1080p, but what's it like to play 4K? Well, the company BenQ reached out to me and sent me one of their 4K monitors to review, but after a few weeks of playing with the 4K monitor for the first time, I believe I have my full thoughts on how it performs. What's up guys, ProdiJay here, and today let's see if this $500 4K monitor is worth it. Now I will have to mention that although BenQ did send me this monitor to review, I'm here to give you my honest opinion and feedback on what I think about it. But getting straight into this review, this 32-inch monitor is called the EW3270U, coming in at about $500, and compared to other 32-inch 4K monitors, this one is slightly more expensive but not by much. Now for the display, it has a VA panel with a resolution of 3840 by 2160, a response time of 4 milliseconds, and a refresh rate of 60 Hz. And finally, it has an HDMI, a USB Type-C, and a display port for connectivity inputs. So what comes with the monitor? Well, you get a registration card to get updates and special offers, you get a quick start guide so you can learn how to assemble the monitor, you get a limited warranty for 3 years if the monitor has to be repaired from defected hardware, and you also get a CD disc that contains a user manual, drivers, and Acrobat reader. And then for the cables, you get a DisplayPort cable, a USB Type-C cable, and finally the power cable for the monitor. But for me, I decided to connect my PC to the monitor through HDMI for this video. And for the monitor stand, it comes in 2 parts, one being the base and the other being the neck of the stand. And all these parts are high quality and look sleek in design, especially from the brushed metal look on the base of the stand. But aside from looks, I am really a fan of how BenQ took their time to use high quality materials, as the full stand is definitely sturdy and durable when it's assembled. Then finally, we got the monitor itself, the EW3270U, and trust me when I say this, 32 inches is pretty big for a monitor, especially when this monitor can barely fit on my table and is almost the exact size as my white backdrop. But let's talk about the assembling of the monitor, which I gotta say, setting up the monitor was pretty simple as I only had to look at the instructions once and just needed a screwdriver to fully secure the monitor. And once that was done, I was able to feast my eyes on this beautiful BenQ product. And this monitor is quite special as it does include HDR and BI Plus technology, which stands for Brightness Intelligence Plus technology, and the feature basically automatically detects ambient brightness and color temperature so it can adjust the display settings to reduce eye strain. But for this review, I mainly just used the HDR function, which it definitely improved my viewing experience when I watch different YouTube videos. But because it's kind of hard to show the HDR feature through my camera, here's a side-by-side of what the HDR feature would somewhat look like if you had the setting turned on. And if you don't know what HDR does, it basically captures greater detail from bright and dark areas, increasing the overall dynamic range on the screen so it resembles what our eyes would see in the real world. So if you like to watch videos or movies a lot in your spare time, this would be a great monitor to watch content on. But aside from videos and movies, playing games at 4K is quite the experience, especially when a guy like myself has been using 1080p for years. Now when it comes to 4K, the main difference between that and 1080p is the amount of detail on screen. Because 4K has over 8 million pixels compared to 2 million pixels for 1080p, the visuals in games are going to look more defined and sharper. But unless you got a powerful enough PC, the gameplay experience is not going to be that smooth. For example, I used an 8GB RX 580 and I still had to turn down some settings for different games, whether it be from anti-aliasing or just lowering down the detail and shadows. But even though I wasn't playing all my settings at ultra for all my games, the visuals for each one still looked amazing. And my experience watching videos and playing games was pretty smooth throughout my testing because this BenQ monitor has AMD FreeSync, which synchronizes the refresh rate of the monitor to the frame rate of an AMD graphics card, which in my case I was using my RX 580 graphics card for the full testing. So now let me go over the pros and cons of this monitor. As of pros, the build of the monitor is aesthetically pleasing as all the parts that came with it were built with great quality and feels as though it will last a long time. Plus, the added 3-year warranty for the monitor does help to bring some reassurance if a part were to be deemed defective. Also, despite the 32-inch monitor being a tad bit bigger than what I need, I do gotta appreciate the amount of screen real estate that it has to offer, as you could have multiple applications run with each window utilizing a part of the screen. And speaking of the screen, I do like the color reproduction and contrast of the monitor despite other reviews saying otherwise. But if you did have a problem with how things looked on the screen, the monitor does come with different color profiles in the settings. And I do gotta appreciate the HDR and BI Plus technology features because the HDR function did improve the visual quality in different situations, and the BI Plus technology was a good added bonus. But I will say that I mostly use the HDR function function for most of my testing. And for my final pro, I like how BenQ incorporated AMD FreeSync, as it does help make the monitor run smoothly for different applications. Now, I only have a few cons for this monitor, which most of these cons are just simply suggestions of mine. First con, I would have wished that the monitor was able to swivel from left to right, or just more mobility as of movement, because this monitor can only tilt 15 degrees back and 5 degrees forward, which at the price range of $500, I feel as though the movement is a bit too restricted. Plus, there is the added fact that there is no height adjustment feature on the monitor. And for my second and last con, this BenQ monitor has weak built-in speakers, which of course, I wasn't expecting superb quality, but I do wish that it was better. But overall guys, with all the features that this monitor provides, I do believe that this is a great deal, but it is somewhat bare bones and plain in a way. Although it does have great color reproduction, it has features like HDR and AMD FreeSync, and most importantly, it's 4K. Now, I will note that if you're an intensive gamer and you care highly about refresh rates and response times, this monitor in particular might not be for you, as it has a refresh rate of 60 Hz and a response time of 4 milliseconds. But most 32-inch 4K monitors have similar specs because of how big the screen is. But if you're looking for a faster alternative, I would highly recommend getting the 28-inch version of this 4K monitor, because although it has the same refresh rate, the response time for the monitor is 1 millisecond. So if you're looking for a cheaper and slightly faster monitor, I would recommend getting the 28-inch version. But in the end, if you care mostly about the resolution, the pixel density, and just visual quality as a whole, then the 32-inch monitor is the choice for you. But I think that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, drop a like and subscribe for more quality content like this, because I do plan on making more tech videos similar to this one. Also, if you guys can, comment down below your thoughts on 4K gaming, whether it be about if 4K gaming is worth it, or if you think that's gonna take some time before 4K gaming becomes more mainstream, as it does demand a lot in terms of hardware. But make sure to comment down below your thoughts, because I do want to hear what you guys have to say, and because I do love responding to everyone's comments. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to have notifications on so you won't miss any of my videos. My name's ProdiJay, and as always, stay classy.